Hi, welcome to third period. As you see, I'm gone. Mr. Chin is here today, so I hope that you're doing well in this warm-up. I wanted to go through how to do the warm-up. It's going to be a little blurry. For some reason, it didn't quite come over, but I think you'll get the general idea of what I'm looking for the warm-up. And then I want to go through what I'm expecting you to do this period. So first off, in the warm-up, it asks you to look at this equation right here. And Mr. Chin will also show you in a moment the actual work that I did. But when I look at this equation right here, the first question says, what is the cost at day 7? So I literally took 7 and substituted it into my equation. I made sure my equation was in degrees because remember, it's an application problem. Once I did that, I saw on day 7, my price was 119.43 cents. At the beginning of the problem, it said it was in cents. Next, in part B, it said, how long does it take for the cost to repeat itself? So I did 360 divided by B, and the B value is 22.5, so it was 16 days. The last thing the question asked was, what is the minimum cost per gallon and when does it occur? When I was looking at this problem, I saw there was a negative in front of the amplitude. So that caused my pattern to change. So I made my table. I put my period at the bottom, which was 16. Took 16 divided by 4 and went by 4s. Since cosine there was a negative in the amplitude, I was able to reverse my pattern. So instead of it going max, mid, min, I went min, mid, max, mid, min. Then I found out when my minimums were, and I actually did the midline minus the amplitude. So it was 115 minus 4.8. The max was 115 plus 4.8. I got the minimum value was 110.2 cents on days 0 and 16. Number 2 asked you to look and find the amplitude, period, and midline. For letter A, it's cosine. The amplitude was 3. The midline was 4. And I also had written that I would like you to use degrees for part A. And for B, I'd like you to do radians. And so I did 360 divided by 2, so 180 degrees for part A. For part B, I said the period was 2 pi over 5 because the B value was 5. The midline was 5 as well, and the amplitude was 4. I also made a point to write down that the pattern is flipped because of the negative. Okay? So those are the warm-up. Mr. Chin can look at your homework. You should have done numbers 1 through 10, or you can wait for me. It's fine if I do that on Monday as well. Next thing you're going to do is you and your group of 4 in your rows. So it's the people you're sitting with. Get cozy. You're going to be working together a lot this period. You're going to have approximately 5 to 10, or let's say 10 minutes to make a possible test question based on your summaries that you have. I want you to write down one possible test question you could have based on the summaries you've written. Okay? So you've written 10 summaries, actually 9, but close to that. What's a possible test question? I'm going to choose one of those test questions and put them on our next test. Then what you're going to do to submit it, you're going to go to Canvas. You can do this all on your phone. And you're going to click on the days list. I think you look at your tasks, or you can go to the calendar and you'll see a test question. So you'll click on what it is, and then it will say submit assignment. So what you're going to do is you're going to submit everything right in that box. The first thing I should be submitting is the names of the people in my group, so everybody gets credit, and then type it down there on your phone. The last thing you're going to do today is you're going to work with your group. And I'm sorry, it says 0 points because it's either in or it's not. It's either you get your points or you're not, just complete or not. The last thing you're going to do today is you are going to work on your cheat sheet and your team test. Your cheat sheet should be made on the back of your your unit circle. Please work on that once you have finished the team test. I know the order is different. I'll change that so what you're viewing, it's not that. But I'm going to be looking for that on Monday. Okay, work with your group of 4 that you have, and I'll be looking for that on Monday. And then the cheat sheet's up to you what to put on the back. Things that I would have put on my possible cheat sheet are the tables, how to do reference angles, how to change from degrees to radians, I'm just trying to think of some other things. I'd put the patterns for sine, cosine, negative cosine. I'd put that the period is all what the period equations were. How do I find amplitude and midline? Anything like that, I think would be extremely helpful. Okay, so I expect this stuff to be done by the end of the period, and I will see you on Monday. Please come to Flex in Lab C8 if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday. Feel free to come during lunch as well. Thank you.